Amber Sherlock, and welcome to the Trusted Authority Alliance Expert Series show. We're here today with Dean Carlton. Dean is recognised as Australia's #1 strategic digital advisor for forward-thinking business heroes. For over 30 years, he's been sought after by business leaders on both the client side and the supplier side of digital transformation projects. Dean has also written the book Slaying the Digital Beast, and he joins me today. Welcome to the show, Dean.
Thanks, Amber.
Can you share with our audience a little bit about your story and the success that you've had in your career?
So I've been working in this industry now for over 30 years, and I've worked with many sort of national and international clients across many industries. Been in Australia now for nearly 5 years, and loving it and living the dream.
So why did you decide to write this book?
I was looking around at other projects in the industry, and I'm seeing phenomenally high failure rates. Up to 70% of all technology projects fail to some degree, or even completely. They get cancelled. And given that we've been doing technology projects now, computer-based projects, for 60 years, I think this is a rather sort of sad state of affairs, that surely after 60 years we should be getting this right, and we should be getting this right every single time. It should not be so difficult, and yet people find it so difficult to get their technology projects right. So I wanted to share some of the ideas that I have on how you can achieve your guaranteed project outcomes every single time.
So who specifically is this book aimed at?
It's aimed at executives who are about to embark on a digital transformation initiative. So they're about to change the way their business operates, change the way they're interacting with their customers. And it's there to highlight the pitfalls of the journey that they're about to embark upon, and to highlight some of the areas they need to focus their attention on in order to achieve successful outcomes and avoid being the person that fails.
What are some of the big ideas that you'd like readers to take away from your book?
One of the key things that I think people need to know is that technology doesn't have to be hard. People are afraid of technology. People are afraid of projects that overrun, costs that blow out, and that they need to know that there is a way of getting it right and being that boardroom hero that I talk about in the book.
So how do you think your book will make an impact on your reader and potentially help them?
So, as I said, I highlight some of the challenges that they're likely to face, that I've witnessed, that I've had to go in and pick up the pieces from. It covers 11 different areas, from the beginning of the project before they kick it off, whilst they're running the project, and then if it goes off the rails, talks about recovering those projects. So there's something in there, I think, for everyone.
Can you take us through one or two success stories by clients that have used your approach?
Sure. One that springs to mind would be a company called Vertu. They're a luxury mobile phone manufacturer, make gold, diamond phones, those sorts of things. They used to be skunk works within Nokia, and after about 11 or 12 years, Nokia sold them off to a private equity firm. And part of the terms of that sale were that Vertu could continue using Nokia's global systems for a period of 12 months, after which the lights would be turned off and they wouldn't be able to use them anymore. So there was a brick wall contractual deadline of 12 months where they had to be off the systems, which means they have to find their own systems, migrate all their information across, and then start operating their business completely on their own 2 feet, basically. So by the time I was brought in, there were only about 7 months to go, and we went through a vendor selection process, and they ended up choosing the wrong product, technically. So with about 5 or 6 months to go, we had to switch products yet again. And the vendor that we had to go with said we were unable to do this in less than 18 months. But we only had 6 months to go. So I had to find a way as a project manager, as a leader, to get this company across the line by this brick wall deadline. Otherwise, they would have to pretty much cease trading once they'd sold the small stock of mobile phones that they had. So a lot of the approaches that I describe in the book were channeled into that project, if you like, and we delivered that project successfully in a third of the time that the supplier said that it would take, and they were live on time.
A great success story. When you're selecting clients that you want to work for, what sort of criteria are you looking for?
The sort of company that really interests me is one that has a long way to go. They're really behind the curve. They haven't been adopting technology. They're getting left behind in the market, and they really need to pivot and completely change the way the whole business works. So that's the sort of big challenge that I like to address.
So what are some of the challenges that your clients are facing?
So they're facing rapid pace of technological change. They're facing a new generation of purchasers who want to interact with companies in different ways on their terms. If we wind the clock back, we used to have to approach a salesperson to find out information about the products that we buy, and we'd have to engage with a potential supplier on their terms. Now we're in a situation where information is freely available, and companies are doing their own research. They're not going out to market until they've pretty much made their choice. So by the time you're invited in to talk to a customer, the choice is already made, and it may not be you. You could already be an also-ran, and you're there just for price comparison purposes. From the client side, they're trying to potentially deal in the same way that they always have, and the current generation, they want to do everything through the mobile phone. So the organisations have to change the way that they interact with their customers. People don't necessarily want to actually talk to a human. They want to talk on the phone. They just want to, talk on the phone. They want to touch the phone and find out information that way. So you've got to interact through social media. You've got to interact through chat, things that people are used to dealing with these days.
What is the single best piece of advice that you have given a client?
Don't try to do everything at once. Break the journey that you're going on down into smaller pieces, and try to deliver value to your customers and to your organisation sooner rather than later. So don't do an 18-month, 24-month project. Set yourself a four-month or a 2-month goal to get something out there, to test the market, to get feedback, to learn from that, to learn within the organisation and learn from your customers, and then feed that into the rest of the program that you're going to undertake.
What would you say is the most fulfilling part of the work that you do?
Seeing the people develop. The technology was what got me into this career in the first place. I was a geek back in the day, but what excites me now is taking people on a journey of their own growth, making a difference in their own organisation. So for me, it's just another project, fun, exciting project, but it's just another project. For them, they may only do one project or 2 projects in their entire career. So this can be a career-defining moment for people. And again, that's why I talk about working with the executives in the company, in my client companies, and making them into boardroom heroes.
Well, your book is Slaying the Digital Beast. Dean Carlton, thank you for joining us on the show today.
Thank you, Amber.